guys, what's up? It's Jules here for WhatCulture.com with another episode of the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. The show that does exactly what it says on the tin in the most annoying way possible. You're welcome. Now, before we begin, we have three things. The first one is that I will be at EGX this weekend in Birmingham, so if you're about and want to play some games, hit me up, yo. Secondly, it is my birthday next week. Yes, old man Jules celebrates getting one step closer to the grave, so Phil will be covering me next Friday. And three, as per usual, we have a lot to cover, so let's crack on and hit that intro. We begin with some sad news. Rusev Day is officially over. It started last year, September 26th, one day before Julesev Day, aka my birthday, and I loved it. It was the one thing that gave me happiness in this life, because my son doesn't. Neither does my love life. But still, Rusev Day did, and the WWE have pulled the plug on that now because Aiden English decided to be the ghost at the feast that he is, pale lad and all, and smacked Rusev on the top of the head with a microphone, thus bringing to a close the only thing that was keeping me going, besides a cocktail of methamphetamines. Seriously though, I am actually quite gutted about this because it was a license to print money that the WWE have just decided to get rid of, and it was so close to the anniversary it seems so strange to pull the plug now. And the team were back on the up. They don't need to be tag champions when they are that over with the crowd. But now they are simply just over. It feels mad to bust them up at this point, and it allowed Rusev to play off some sort of silliness when he's just the lovable bugbear Bulgarian brute that he is. And now it's just, what are they going to do next? It worries me. Like I say, I'm not mad. I'm just like my parents, very, very disappointed. However, you know what wasn't disappointing? Hell in a Cell, which proved to be one of the best WWE pay-per-views in recent memory, I'd say, and that is thanks in no part to Bruce Turnip Brock Lesnar. I never thought I'd be saying that. Not like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was bad-mouthing the bloated meat sack, and now here he is, looking lithe as hell, might I add, very slim, very trim, but he came in like the tax man looking for Lad Bible and kicked the bloody door off, and I popped hard for it. And then the insanity began, because he started smashing people with a bit of table, and then after the match, even more insanity, because then he announced that he's going to be at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. A glorified house show, nonetheless. Now, I have no idea what deal Vince has struck with the good people of Saudi Arabia, but I can probably surmise that his bank balance is now seeing more zeros than the entire WhatCulture presenting team combined, and he has free reign to do what the he wants at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So he's given us what we all want. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns again. But I'm not actually annoyed about it. You see, the reasoning behind this is that while I would usually be groaning at seeing these two fighting it out again, in this oil field of dreams pay-per-view that Vince has got going, anything can happen. Proven, case in point, by the fact that Shawn Michaels might be coming out of retirement to wrestle there. And let's just say his smile don't come cheap. He managed to get him, whatever figure Vince is paying him, off of his denim and leather couch to come back for one more match against The Undertaker and Kane. So that's going to be quite an interesting one there, isn't it? Yeah, so it's kind of like Vince has been given all of his action figures and just said you can do whatever you want with them. And he's chosen to get his boy Shawn Michaels back, which I'm actually very happy about. Although, thinking does dictate that he's probably only brought Shawn over there to Saudi Arabia because women can't wrestle and he wanted something to lech over. Actually fancied him in the 90s, didn't he? Right, so jumping back a bit earlier in the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, we got possibly one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen involving WWE and television since I saw AJ's bootcut jeans. I am, of course, speaking about Randy, please sir, you're hurting me, Orton, and his match with Jeff Hardy, which proved to be just gross, man. I mean, the thing that I really like is the fact that Randy Orton, for a while I thought that the Big Snake was more of a big snore, but now he's kind of dusted off this legend killer gimmick again and he's gone after Jeff in the way that he has. I feel like I'm actually starting to turn with the guy. I feel like I quite like him now. And that was thanks, in no part, to him taking a screwdriver to Jeff's ear vagina. what a sight. It's as bleak as it sounds, and his ear looked like some sort of fusilli pasta by the end of it. Ugh. It's weird that the WWE allowed this kind of uber torture porn spot, but yet it would be totally against blood. Go figure their standards. I never really understand it. But you know who did understand it, and was probably there with pen and paper writing large? Probably Jimmy Havoc, looking at that spot and just thinking, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's dial it up a notch with a drill on my bell end. And it wasn't the most disgusting thing that was on that pay-per-view. That was the selling of 6 minutes by Braun and Roman for that spear. 6 minutes down on the floor. Get up, you bastards. But you know what? For tapping his low labia, Randy Orton, are you having a giraffe?
Jules!
Phil, what the f are you doing?
I finally did it. I killed one of them.
Who? What? Who?
Adam. Nicholas.
Oh, you mean one of the WhatCulture personalities that made fun of my giraffe head and we're trying to kill off in this segment of the show? Cool, right, good to know. How did you do that then?
It was really easy. I just stabbed him. And then I stabbed him again. And then again, and he just fell over.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly how I planned it, but still, yeah, well done, mate. Good boy.
Thanks.
Phil, who did you stab in the kitchen?
You know I don't do species well.
Good boy. Back under the desk now.
Are you having a giraffe?
And now welcome to the Philosophical Corner.
When did Starcade happen for the second time ever, for the first time ever?
Oh, wow, Phil, I tell you what, man. I usually have something clever to say, but just I'm quite worried now. I don't want you reading my dark secrets, so I'd really like you to just stay out of my head because it feels like you're right up in there, okay? So.
I know what happened to Mark.
Also, it's when the WWE tries to treat you like a mug and tell you that Starcade never happened. What do you know?
Everything.
Oh. Now this next segment really spiced my kebab, if you know what I mean, because the WWE this week announced that we were going to see, for the first time ever, a pay-per-view called Starcade. Now, that's insulting on many levels, really, isn't it? It's insulting to the fact that you already did it, and you didn't put it up on the network, and it was a glorified house show. And the second point, you're clearly doing this to rub Cody up the wrong way, aren't you? To stick the boot in after All In kind of embarrassed you a little bit. Say what you will about the quality of that show. It definitely put the WWE on notice. And for them to respond back with saying, yeah, it's the first ever Starcade. Because I don't want you remembering any of the other ones. And all of that lineage that went that side, nah, it's here. And it's here to stay. And you've never seen it before. You've never seen anything like this before. You've never seen anything like this before. Do I need to remind you, you've never seen anything like this before? It's one of their mandates at the moment, isn't it? That they love saying it's the first ever. And most of the time, it's great when it's to do with like women's wrestling or getting Renee on the commentary team. That's fine. But don't lie to the people like this, because we've got more than a week's worth of memory. We can remember that this actually happened way before, even in recent memory. You're pulling my ding-dong, man. Oh yeah, and I've just remembered, looking at my script that I wrote before, thanks, past Jules, that the show was described in the hype video as the totally awesome radical phenomenon. Starcade was the precursor to WrestleMania. It wasn't the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this week we got to see more glorious mixed match tag team wrestling, even though it's not as good as the first year, let's be honest, lads, but it's still good, all right? So calm down. And the WWE showcased another example of short-term memory loss when they put out a video that said Braun Strowman finally gets his hands on Kevin Owens. Finally? What the f are they on about? He's already had his hands on him many times already. He got his digits right up in there at Extreme Rules, and at SummerSlam he ground him into base elements. He's more hands-on than my gym teacher, and he's in jail now. In fact, he's had less time with his hands off him. Ridiculous. Now, I know that this seems like a small thing for me to critique, but it's more of a larger issue that's present in the WWE. I understand how difficult it must be to run a business of that size. I empathise with that, and there are going to be mistakes, but unfortunately, it's the product that shows to everyone else that you're going to be judged by. I mean, we know that with all of our videos. Every time we make a mistake, it gets jumped on straight away. I'm going to do the same for you, because I love the product and I want to see it get better. So this is a problem for me because of the fact that it means that everything that's going on Raw doesn't matter. And I know that the Mixed Match Tag Team Challenge, it's not canon in that way, but it kind of does matter how you perceive your wrestlers on every other product that they're on. Why are we now seeing Kevin Owens as a bit more of a bumbling slob again? Why he's meant to be having carte blanche on Raw, he's meant to be the guy who's feared. Don't have him lose in this way. There's no heat being built whatsoever. We've already done the storyline with him and Braun, so shelve that. There doesn't need to be a rehash of it again. It just shows that they're making too much content for them to keep track of. And it doesn't help when their chairman literally can't remember week in, week out who's won. It's just confusing, is what I'm trying to say. And believe me, I understand how hypocritical it is of me to stand here and say that they're out too much content. Believe me, I am aware of that, but I think that I can boil it down to a worry that I have. Worry for people like Rey Mysterio, who's just announced that he's coming back for a 2-year stint with the WWE again. There is too many things going on. There are too many cooks. There are too many bloody broths. I don't understand what's going on half the time because the WWE doesn't understand what's going on. I think that you guys empathize with this. And it's just a worry, isn't it? That we could see people fall through the cracks, really talented people not get their proper due because of the fact that they just are shooting everywhere and hoping that they're going to score a hit. It's a word of warning rather than a complaint. I'm not bitching, I'm not moaning about it. I just want things to be better, and you should too. And there we have it. Those are the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. Now to close out the show, the only way I know how, by reading my favourite comments from last week's episode, and we've got a fair few. We got one from Spunky1991. We got one from Paul Shadle. We've got one from Jay. You say, I know we've got loads more comments, but they kind of just say the same thing. And they're all about the Ric Flair thumbnail that we used last week. You're very welcome for that. That thumbnail is disgusting. Looks like a daughter tongue-kissing her father's corpse. Just threw up all over my room thanks to that photo. Thanks, Puke Culture. Oldest ride, longest line. Kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing son of a gun. Woo! Yeah. Caused a bit of an issue, that thumbnail, didn't it? Some people were saying it was a clickbait one. I referenced it at the very beginning, saying it was clickbait. Moving swiftly on to that. Disgusting, though, wasn't it? Disgusting. There was another one that I saw that said that it looked like a Dementor sucking out a soul. I mean, good on you, Rick. If you can get it up, stick it in, you know what I'm saying? Then we had one from Yol Sugarwater Romero, who said, get this, dead channel. Dead meme, mate. Plus, I mean, not doing bad for a dead channel since we've grown by 500,000 subs since last year. So suck my dick. And finally, we have Jay Carter that says, that full edit, talking about Phil in the last giraffe segment, was worse than the Breeze suicide dives. Nothing's worse than their suicide dives, mate. Jog on. Love you. And there we have it. All that's left for me to say is a massive thank you to Phil Chambers and to Michael Sidgwick for their continued work on this show, as well as to you at home for watching. I know, I'm still getting questions about the giraffe t-shirts. I would like to know where they are too. I would like to know where they are too. But until I find out, that's all it's going to be. But anyway, I'm off next week, as I said, for my birthday, so hopefully I don't die of an overdose or an underdose. Depends on how crazy I'm going to get. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!